Good morning. It's January 7th, 2018, and my mother, Eva Szasz-Peterffy, is going to demonstrate how she makes a lovely Hungarian dessert delicacy called Zserbo. I'm going to turn it over to her so she can explain why it's called Zserbo and what exactly we're going to be doing. So, hi, Mom. We're making Zserbo today. Can you explain what Zserbo is, please?
As far as I know, there was a very famous cake maker in Hungary from French origin whose name was Zserbo. That's all the explanation what we heard, but this is a long time favorite for lots of
But
people.
there's a famous cafe in Budapest named Zserbo, right?
Yes, yes. He was the owner of probably this place.
It's a beautiful place right in the square, in the main square.
But it's from somewhere 88, the last century, they opened that place. I don't know exactly.
Polly would remember the year. We ate there, and he complained that we ate little scoops.
Very long time ago. Even my grandmother was a child when they opened this famous.
When Polly and I were in Budapest, he complained that the scoop of ice cream they gave him was the smallest scoop of ice cream serving he ever got in his life. So, but he does love eating your Zserbo. So
that's in downtown, and it's very famous, and they save this way. They save a lot of money.
So I'm going to show you what we have set up. Mom's already pre-measured.
I already measured.
Okay, what's that?
75 decagram of flour.
All right.
With a pinch of salt.
Okay.
Then I put, wait a minute, then I put, the butter is the next.
Okay, and
35 decagram of butter.
Okay.
Wait a minute. First, we have to put the yeast for hot water.
Oh, okay. So what have we got there for yeast?
One package of yeast with a half a spoonful, teaspoon of sugar.
Okay.
And I put it in not really hot, but not
okay. So
water
lukewarm water.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So should we do that now then?
Yes.
All right. We'll put the water. All right. We're following your every move here, shadowing.
I have to get the round.
And it's just regular active dry yeast, right? Or is it?
Yes.
Does it matter if you use quick acting or what kind of yeast?
I use the regular one, but I have no idea.
Okay.
I get the right temperature. It is too hot, no good. It is too.
Right. We don't want to kill the yeast.
Okay. I think.
Do you have to stir it or anything, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
All right.
I usually do like that.
Okay. All right.
And this will no.
All right. So we're putting the rest of the butter in.
Yeah.
With the flour and the pinch of salt.
75 decagram of flour and 35 decagram.
I see you've written down the instructions.
Sweet butter. Make sure it's real
sweet butter, meaning unsalted, European
Unsalted.
style butter. Everybody, if you're buying butter, make sure. That's one of the big secrets to European baking. I find is using the right butter.
No.
So.
3 decagram of sugar.
Okay.
Not too much sugar.
All right.
Now first, like we do like that.
So we're kind of, I guess you would call that kneading, or we're mixing with our fingers anyway. It kind of looks like when you were making the cabbage rolls, mixing the meat. You have a certain technique, I see, that you use. Zserbo is one of my husband Paul's favorite treats that my mother makes. It's very fancy. It could be compared, you could say, to layered squares with a chocolate.
Yes.
With
And
the
the
chocolate
on the
topping,
top.
the chocolate glaze, I think.
That's why your husband likes it so much.
he likes the chocolate.
She likes the chocolate.
Yeah. So the other.
Funnily enough, Bernie doesn't like too much chocolate, but this he likes it too.
Oh yeah, everybody likes Gerbeaud.
Everybody likes the Zserbo. And everybody has a little bit of different recipe like this one.
Including the Zserbo café in Budapest. I'm sure theirs is a little
I
different.
didn't like it at all. When last time I ate the Zserbo, I didn't like it. It's somehow,
Huh.
no, okay.
All right.
It's
So,
like that.
all right. So all the big
Now,
chunks
meanwhile,
are
this is, has to wait a little bit more until
gone. Okay.
it's not rising yet enough.
All
But
right.
it's
I imagine it'll be a
starting.
little bit bubbly and.
Okay.
All
We
right.
put 1 whole eggs and 4 egg yolk.
So 1 whole egg and 4 egg yolks. So there's only
Yeah.
1 egg white in there then. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we have to wait a little bit until the.
Okay. That's all right. So this is definitely something you want to do with your fingers, it looks like, and not a whisk or a spoon.
Or you can do any other way, just like that.
All right. As a piano player, I'm always avoiding getting my fingers gunky, but that's just, yeah, I could always
Okay.
wear my surgical gloves.
Okay.
All right.
Let's open the sour
Okay,
cream.
so I brought a little bit of sour cream from my house.
Okay, meanwhile,
Here we go.
okay, goes into, now it's okay.
Okay, so it kind of expanded a little, and there we go. I don't think I've ever made anything with yeast in my whole life. It's time I
Okay.
learned.
I have to put a little bit of hot water to
All right.
make sure all the yeast in it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now is coming the not too much sour cream needs because it's just
So the sour cream is really just for
Just to make
texture and
sure,
moisture,
yes.
richness.
yes, it's
Okay.
just a little bit.
All right.
Oh, that will do probably.
All right. So let the record show that was about a. Oh, not even.
You have to.
This is a touch feel thing, everybody. You're not going to
Yeah.
get an exact amount out of European cooks and bakers. They'll tell you some, a pinch, a little, depends. You're never going to get a straight answer,
That's
so
enough.
you just have to
That's
accept
enough because it's.
So basically, we're looking at it. It's sticking together. It's now dough-like.
Yes. Yes, it
All
has
right.
to be like not too soft, not too hard. It's experience.
Yeah. Well,
That's it. No more sour cream. I told you I don't
Okay.
need too much
All
sour
right.
cream.
good. Now, if you didn't have sour cream in the house, then I
A
guess
little bit of milk will do.
milk or
probably.
maybe yogurt. I think you said yogurt would work.
Doesn't
Some
matter,
kind of
but
dairy product
It's
or
just to
something.
make the dough like this.
The consistency.
Yes.
All right. All right. So now she's put some flour on the
Okay.
board, and
And still making.
you know, classic kneading of the dough.
Yes.
It's an art. I inherited the other board identical to this from Grandma, so it's in my kitchen.
It's a very old board. I can't live without it. I bring it with me
Yeah.
now. Okay. So 5, try to make it 5. It's hard to judge, but
So we're dividing the dough into 5 portions here, as best we can. This is another experience.
yes, it's maybe.
Looks pretty good with the eye.
Yeah.
Great.
Make it nice and round.
This is the most requested recipe.
Yes, that's why.
It's one of the hits. Well, it really is very fancy looking when it's done, and yet you keep saying, oh, it's not hard to make. So it's always nice when something looks fancy and difficult.
It's not so hard to make if you know how to. It's,
Well, that goes for everything in life.
It's easy. If you don't know, it's...
Yeah. So we've got some...
You know what? I made a boo-boo.
What's the matter?
This is too big,
Oh,
and this is too small.
okay.
Oh, now I have to start all over.
I guess you want them all to bake evenly and be the same thickness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first one is a little bit bigger because that will be the top. The bottom will be the top for this,
Oh, all right.
which is you will see that later.
Okay.
Okay, now if we have to say goodbye for it for at least 1.5 hours.
Okay.
The original is 2 hours, the recommendation, but give me that things which is I'm using from ages.
All right, so she sprinkled the top with flour, and she's going to cover up the balls of dough.
Goodbye for it for 1.5 hours.
All right.
Meanwhile, for a half a kilo grounded walnuts,
Okay.
a quarter of kilo of sugar. So always half like the nuts have the.
Okay, so basically a ratio of 1 to 2 nuts to sugar.
I
and
think
she
it will be too much. We will see. If it's left over, I always made Dios taste away, because it's very hard to judge how many walnuts you need. But the only thing I know, like if you have a half a kilo, you need a quarter of a kilo of sugar. That's the okay. Nothing we can do until 1.5 hours.
Okay.
1.5.
So for 1.5 hours,
we put out
we're going to let the dough rise, is what's going on, and
Yes.
we've missed the we've mixed the
Resting.
resting,
We
rising.
call it resting. It's
In
resting.
Hungarian, it's resting, but I think in English, maybe
Okay.
rising, I don't know. Okay, so we're going to go take a break. We're going to call my sister Zhuji, whose name almost sounds like Zserbo, and we're going to busy ourselves with
Yeah.
other things.
Usually I wash up the things what I used
While you're waiting, all
when
right.
I am waiting,
All right.
and then after I'll be okay.
All right. We'll be back in 1.5 hours after this rises. We are back, and we're going to uncover the dough and see if it's risen enough. Have a look.
Yes, so
This hasn't risen quite as much as she'd like, but it's only been an hour. But we have deadlines here. We got a busy life. Okay, so she's sprinkling flour on the board. In the meantime, she greased a cookie sheet here.
yeah, with butter.
With butter, it's been greased, lightly greased.
Okay, but
We're preheating the oven, Mom, at what temperature?
350.
350 degrees. All right, we're rolling the dough, rolling the dough.
Oh my goodness.
We're constantly keeping it covered in flour so that it doesn't stick to the rolling pin. I wonder who invented the rolling pin and what we did before. I guess we just used pieces of wood that didn't roll, maybe. What an invention. So it looks to me like she's rolling it out to big enough to cover the cookie sheet.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like big enough.
All right. All right. Ah, here comes a trick. We're going to roll it onto the... I can see where this is going.
Oh.
Look at that. All right.
I did a little bit.
So we're trimming the edge. Ah, I see. We're doing a little patch job there. Maybe we could go into the ready-made Zserbo dough business, just like strudel dough. There's a fortune to be made.
I don't think so.
No. All right.
That's it.
That's
Now, coming the first layer of...
Okay, so this is the walnut and ground walnuts and sugar mixture. And if you watched our strudel video, then you'll know that she grinds her nuts with a little nut grinding machine. You can't really do it in the food processor because it wants to turn into butter, into nut butter. So there's a certain texture you want with the ground nuts. But anyway, she seems to be putting a pretty generous layer of ground walnuts and sugar here. All right.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Next.
All right, looks like we're going to roll another section of dough. Did your mother make Zserbo too?
Yes. Actually, she did. This I just think about it. She did. I think that will do.
All right.
Oh,
I had
you see, I made a little bit of boo-boo, not too much.
I had no idea this is how this went. I thought you had to bake those layers separately. It was a complete mystery to me how this happens. It's just like magic. I honestly thought you had to bake the layers separately and then put it together or something. I didn't. Go ahead and laugh at me. But I didn't know.
That would be something.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what it works for. For Dobosh tort, you have to do separate layers, right? So.
Make sure
Okay,
like
so
it's
yeah,
no,
so she's
no
air pockets.
Air pocket.
Okay.
Okay. Now
So she's
coming.
patted it down. All right, here comes, now this time we've used blueberry jam, but she said any dark colored jam. Now a lot of the recipes online.
I don't know, that will be a little different, like it's not...
Oh, it's not smooth.
Not smooth, my goodness, I never had anything like that.
Oh, I see.
Hopefully.
I was the designated jam buyer, so if it's no good, it's my fault.
No, it should be different.
So like a smooth jam without berry pieces, maybe.
Yeah, but I think it will be.
I think it'll be.
Okay,
I think that'll be a nice addition. Anyway, she sent me to buy jam. A lot of the online recipes say to use peach or apricot jam, but my grandmother apparently taught my mother to use dark jam.
I think we will use some apricot jam too. Luckily, I have at home because I don't know this one.
So you're worried about the lumps, the berry lumps?
Well, I think it will be okay, but...
well, the apricot might have lumps too because I bought the same brand.
Oh my goodness. Really, if it's not coming out, that's your fault it's not coming
I can't
out
imagine.
nicely.
who knows, maybe it'll make it better.
Who knows?
If you ask me, little
It
bits
can
of,
be
I
wrong.
think it could be delicious.
Yeah, I think this will be delicious. Okay.
Well, you know, you got to be specific when you give me the. It's a big
When I
responsibility.
give you the instruction,
Well, yeah.
has to be perfect, huh?
Well, you know, yeah, it's a big responsibility for me to purchase your ingredients. You have to give me the right tools to make sure I do the right thing. All right.
Yeah, make sure no air pocket.
Okay.
You see, it's
Yeah. Patted it down.
okay. Coming
Okay.
again the walnut.
All right. So this is layer number 2 of walnut and sugar.
So the only thing is missing, we should put some lemon zest.
Lemon zest.
Yeah.
And where would we put the lemon zest?
That doesn't make really too much difference, but when I had at home, then I did it.
And where do you put the lemon zest? Like you just.
Oh, in the dough.
Oh. So it would have already gone in when we made the dough.
Yeah, it's fine.
All
Okay.
right. So maybe zest of 1 lemon in the dough.
Now it's coming this one, and on this top will coming again the jam, and then the cover layer.
All right. We have the chocolate glaze to make still. Or the chocolate glaze is after it's baked?
It's just that the chocolate glaze has to be when the dough is cooled down.
Oh,
so if we
that'll
can
be
do
after lunch.
that, yeah.
All right. This is almost like a magician showing their magic tricks to me. It's a big secret. It was always just done. And we would eat it without realizing what went into it.
It's not rocket science actually. It's just you have to know.
It is if you. It is to some people. It's
Not
rocket science.
science at all. Cooking needs a little bit of experience.
Uh-huh.
Baking and cooking need experience, and sometimes when you are starting, it's just make some boo-boo. But
So we're going to use those leftover walnuts and sugar to make.
I usually use it when.
Sometimes she makes something called diós tészta, which
Yeah.
Hungarians are famous for eating. Usually egg noodles, right? Egg noodles.
Yes,
And they'll have
walnuts. We had lots of walnuts in the old country. Everybody had a walnut tree in the yard.
So then they
Lots
would eat the noodles with a mixture
It was
of
a very common piece.
with a mixture of nuts and sugar, or else sometimes they would do it with poppy seed and sugar. Sometimes
yeah.
jam.
Oh, I
Sometimes
like-
toasted
I like
cabbage.
Poppy seed too, but
Yeah, yeah. All right, so this is our second last layer of dough. And then we're getting the air out.
okay, coming
Here comes the rest of the lumpy jam.
the lumpy jam.
Poor Smuckers, they're not going to make any money off us because we don't like the lumpy jam. But then who knows, maybe it will be the best.
Maybe we find something which is for the future we will like better.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, my husband Polly won't care. He'll eat it if you put it in a blender and make a smoothie out of it. He doesn't care at all about what it looks like or anything. He just loves it. This is not recommended for diabetics on low-carb diets.
Definitely. Not a diet.
Not a
food.
diet food.
No. It's a very rich things. This
Yeah.
Zserbo. That's why it's so good. What we're not supposed to eat, that's always the best.
Yeah. Well, Grandpa and Grandma lived to be 94, and Grandpa never ate a vegetable.
Never in his life. Too.
So is the last layer always jam?
Yes.
Okay. Because
that will be the
well,
bottom.
because theoretically, yeah.
That will be the bottom.
Oh,
Don't
right.
forget,
Of course, yeah.
This is like the upside down.
Oh, well,
things,
I can't forget what I didn't know. Don't forget, she says. You don't forget. All right, we're rolling out the last final layer of the 5 dough balls. Okay, here comes the last layer, which apparently is going to be the bottom, she tells me. Don't forget it's the bottom.
I made, you see, even I made lots of boo-boo.
Yes, well, you won't have any trouble finding a home for those end pieces if they're not perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Some people like the end pieces the best, right?
Susie likes the end.
Right, Sister Sue?
Yes. She likes the end pieces.
She likes the end pieces. Can I open the door for you?
Yeah.
Opening the oven door. It's preheated to 350. And we're putting it in the middle rack on the oven. And it's going to take about 45 minutes. Okay, so right now the Zserbo is still in the oven. Oh, we're going to have a look. Oh, look, it's getting brown. I wish you could smell
10 more minutes, 10, 15
Okay,
more
and we have a bunch of semi-sweet chocolate chips here, and it's difficult to explain how much. I would say 2 cups, maybe?
No, a bag. 1 bag.
Well, the bags come in different sizes, right?
No, usually it's at the supermarket is 1 bag.
All right. Well, we'll go with that. But I don't know. It looks like
and
8 ounces or something.
Put into the
So she's putting it in the microwave. Looks like we've gone on 1 minute.
Well, it's not enough 1 minute, but we have to stir it.
All right. Okay. It's starting.
Vissza se kell tenni. That's it.
Oh boy, that sure does smell good.
Yeah. $12 as I told you.
Okay, it is ready. It's exactly noon. We've had it in the oven for 45 minutes, right? 45 minutes, just as she predicted. Oh, it's just too bad you can't smell what I smell. Smell-o-vision. Beautiful. Wow.
Mm.
So it looks like we're loosening the edges a little bit. I guess we're going to have to flip this out of the pan in one piece, so that'll be one of the magic tricks I've never seen. Now, before we did this, she did put a little bit of cooking spray on that wire rack. She said that, okay, here we go.
Wait a minute.
We might need a drum roll. Oh, wow. I can see why the cooking spray,
Yeah.
just to keep it from...
Okay, I
All
guess
right.
this will be fine.
Okay. So there's the naked Zserbo without the topping. I've never seen that before in my life.
And here will come the chocolate when it's
All
cooled
right.
down.
All right. Okay, so now we're back and we're spreading the chocolate glaze, which you saw us make a few minutes ago. The Zserbo is still feeling warm but not hot, so we're going to spread the the chocolate glaze on top now.
I need a larger knife. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I suppose that chocolate glaze you could put on top of any kind of cookies that you bake, or
Yeah, you can do that.
Sure.
Too. That's,
why not? And I remember you saying when you eat the Zserbo, it's nice to have it at room temperature for a while so that the chocolate is the right texture when you're eating it. This freezes very well,
very well.
so
For
you can
months
make
and
this.
months you
Yeah,
can keep it in the.
yeah.
No. What we will do, we try to take a look on it at the end. Here,
Okay, so she's slicing off the about an inch off the edge where the irregular part.
well,
Well, looks good.
you want to taste it?
Of
Like a
course.
taste?
Of course I want to taste it. Okay, so we're cutting all the edges all around, all the rough edges from around the perimeter of the Zserbo. It's about an inch. And we're pretty happy with the way those layers look. There's a few little bumps from the blueberries, but I don't see that as a problem.
Okay, I will take
Okay.
one. Oh, look at that.
See? It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. That's right.
Yeah. So it looks like you're going to get 1, 2, 3 or 4.
Very good looking.
It's
So-
very good looking.
Very good looking.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3. How many are you going to get? Yeah. 5. So basically the same number as the dough balls
Yes.
in the end.
Actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But it's too early to cut.
Okay. So we've
I
just done
just cut now because for you
all right.
to show, but otherwise I
So
wouldn't.
basically, when she does the final cutting, just so you know, the pieces are going to be about that size. They're like rectangles. Oh yeah, like that. Here. Yeah. I see what
No.
you're saying. So
No,
it's
no,
it's
it's too
neater,
early.
yeah, because the chocolate's still melty. But that's about the size that the pieces will be. They're like
Yeah.
they're kind of like about 3 or 4 inches long and an inch wide. So thank you very much, Mom,
You're very
for
welcome.
making the Zserbo and
Yeah.
sharing your secrets.
Big
with us.
secret.
Big secret.
The
All
big
right.
secret.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Well, you ought to see my baby. Girl, that man is so fine. He loves me every morning, every night. And it's always on my mind. Is that sugar-coated love? Yeah, sugar-coated love. He's a real down babe, and I don't mean maybe it's mine. Well, I don't have to worry about money, don't have to worry about clothes, I don't have to worry about anything, 'cause he's my baby, and goodness knows he's got sugar.